Now it's time for the drive home. Buckle up, bitches.
Welcome to episode 45 of The Drive Home. We're a group of gays who go to the movies and review them on the drive home.
Look at the Batmobile.
I'm Jason,
I'm David.
I'm Jose.
I'm Matt/Taco.
and we just left the movie.
The Friend. So, to give a summary of The Friend, sorry, everyone's been crying. Neurons aren't firing right now. This was a drama. I would not classify as it a comedy, even though the AMC app says it's comedy. I would say
No,
drama, starring Naomi Watts and Bill Murray
And...
Bing.
Constance Wu.
Oh, I was going to say Bing.
Oh,
Bing the
Carla
dog.
Gugino. I didn't see the name of the dog in the credits.
Yeah.
Bing.
Okay, well, Bing is his brother Bong. Anyway,
Mr. Bang.
it's about a...
Oh my god, you're just
still-
on when it's getting
still?
started.
Still on it?
This is the longest.
Ping pong tabletop
Fine.
tennis game
Popcorn,
ever.
popcorn to Jose.
Yeah,
You
thank
start
you.
the summary.
Gosh.
I gave the background.
That was a...
background.
You all had to interrupt me with Bing's name, okay? I didn't know he was named after a search engine.
Wow.
I think you should pick it up from here or he's going to keep talking.
Oh, boy. Naomi's character takes over her friend's dog after his passing.
And she is a writer who is trying to find her story after her friend's passing as well.
And she is not a dog person and has always liked cats. And she lives in a apartment in New York that does not allow dogs. And that's kind of where we'll leave it. So, do we want to give this movie a quick rating on the count of 3?
Yes.
Thumbs up, thumbs down, or thumbs sideways? 1, 2, 3.
I gave this movie a thumbs up because it made me feel all the feels. I love dogs. I thought the story was poetic and a great story about grief, and it just really hit home for me. And I enjoyed it. I agree, it was not comedy, except when you're laughing at dog things, I guess. But I would not classify it as comedy. But it made me cry, made me think about life, so I enjoyed it. How about you, Jason? You're my other thumbs up buddy.
Yeah, I mean, again, it was very sad. It made me cry a few times, pretty bad at the end. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Our dog Wally, I witnessed his sadness. Like, he loved my mom, and when we can't remember this, when we came back for her funeral, he ran into the house and always like jumps on our lazy boy, and he did, and she wasn't there, and he was sad the whole time we were there. And my dad was like, I think he misses your mom, and we just lied, and we're like, no, he's just not been feeling. But yeah, he knows.
They
I mean,
know.
they know. It was so that for me is what made it sad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It did really hit on those different kinds of relationships that dogs have and that intuition that they have.
Yeah, for sure.
And the constant struggle of, does the dog need you or do you need the dog?
Right.
Or mutual.
Yeah. That theme was definitely well communicated, and I thought that was really beautiful. I shed some tears too. I thought it was very moving. Naomi Watts was like perfect to me. I don't think she was melodramatic. I thought I really liked her in this role. My thing was the human parts weren't working for me as well as the dog human relationship. I did not I found myself not as invested in the movie in the scenes where it was the human relationships and her struggle with writer's block. I was much more interested in the the plot about the dog, the eviction, that stuff. And to me, it's that happens sometimes with movies, like dog movies, where your humans piece has to be really strong to compete with a dog. And so I found myself like losing interest, but then that third, like that epilogue or the end part, like kind of pulled me back up to like 3/4 of the way up. Jose?
I loved the dog part of it. That was really, really sweet. And I think the problem I had with it was a little bit of the Bill Murray middle sequence.
Yes.
The sort of dreamy, what is
That's
really
where I started to like.
what is really happening there. Yeah. And I loved the relationship with the daughter and her too. I thought that was really sweet. I think they could have done a little bit more with flashbacks than they did with that dream sequence. But I don't know. I didn't read the book.
Yeah, maybe the dream sequence would have worked a little more if we had a little more like flashbacks of their relationship, showing how close they were, and like you could maybe get to know Bill Murray's character better, because everything we know about him was just told through other people, so it was hard to forge a connection with his character as much.
I also think I left with a lot of loose ends, really, on my side. A little bit, we just get that glimpse of him at the beginning, alive. That tiny dinner party glimpse. Then also what happened with her students. She was very understated. I kind of wanted a turnaround where she asserts her confidence or reclaims her voice.
Because she finds her voice with the dog,
With
she
the
doesn't
dog.
transfer that into
To the
her
writing
other...
or
Right.
this dicky student that she has. I with her editor, I think I wanted some of those ends kind of powerfully tied up, like confidently tied up.
I wonder if they cut some of it, like to keep it at...
Oh, yeah.
This is exactly 2 hours,
Which-
right?
Yeah.
I think this movie was.
See, I did like the dream thing because
Me
I
too.
feel like again, I've never been personally touched, thankfully, by suicide, but I feel like that would be a question that your friends and family ask. Like,
Yeah,
For
and
sure.
my assumption would be that would be a dream that you would have, saying why, know, and she really kind of, I thought, sort of nailed the whole suicide thing really well, where like, Jesus, like, you didn't even think about your dog, the person
Right.
whose life centers around you, and you killed yourself, and he heard it. And he was not in the same room, but in the same house.
Right.
And he's like, did you hear him scratching? Did you hear him whining? Like, it just was really sad. And, and I don't know, it sort of speaks to that mindset maybe of someone who does take their own life, that they don't. They're in such a bad place that they don't even think about their best friend in the whole wide world and what that means for them.
I
So.
also really loved the dream sequence, but I liked it not necessarily from the suicide element. I agree with everything you said there, but I don't know if you guys ever have dreams of like people have like passed, and like you start asking them like questions, or you don't always get answers, but like you see people in your dreams sometimes that maybe have passed away, and to me that element was there, where I do remember a lot of my dreams, and I want to have those kinds of conversations. So it felt cool to be able to experience a character asking the questions that I want to ask some people who have passed away. It felt real to me, like that's what I would want to do.
Yeah. Yeah, I do agree with your critiques though, David and Jose, in that there were a lot of people, and and you didn't really get to know them because it was just all, I'm his second wife, I'm his third wife, and then I'm his daughter that he didn't know about.
nowhere,
It's just there was a lot going on there, and I don't know that we needed it. I think it really could have just been, he was a fairly successful writer, it seems, who you know.
I think we could have clipped some of those scenes to tighten it up maybe and
Yeah.
get back to the core story of Naomi Watts and the dog,
Yeah.
which was what the movie like really lit up for me during those parts. And then like, yeah, when she's talking to the ex-wife, when there was a couple like funny moments when she's at Constance Wu's apartment. It was not like needed for me.
Yeah. There were too many little side bits that probably didn't need to have to happen. But you know, again, the overall point of the movie was the dog. Which,
Yeah,
Right.
They,
No,
they
it-
stuck the
yeah.
landing. They like nailed that epilogue, that final button at the end.
I
But
think those parts didn't bother me, the other characters, but it could have elevated it even more. Like it didn't, piss me off about the other wives. I found that kind of stuff entertaining, but it could have gone there. But would that be at the expense of, again, going over 2 hours?
Yeah.
I feel like maybe they were just trying to show the breadth of people that he touched in his life to drive home that point that she says later of, you left all these people that love you and cared about you.
Or also, is it a reflection of kind of how messy his life was, right? The daughter that ruined his career at teaching, and the multiple marriages. I don't know.
It does maybe to show how the dog gave him stability or gave him something to, that you can't really part with.
But I will say everything was really nice. All the music, the transitions, the connection from this to that. It was all really smooth, really
It was kind of like a warm hug.
calming.
Of
Yeah.
a movie, the way it was directed and edited. And I liked the shots of New York. I also like that I know it's based on a true story, but like so many movies about writers who live in New York, they have these glamorous apartments. Like this was a very realistic
Yes.
living situation.
for her, yes.
Yes,
Yeah.
like Netflix movies where people live in New York, they have these gorgeous apartments, and they're like, "Oh, I work the front desk at Soul Cycle." So it was like nice to see.
Yeah, I'm a cabaret singer.
Yeah.
Any other thoughts? I cried.
I cried.
I did not.
You did not. I kept looking over. I thought, my God, he's
I didn't like have
heartless.
a full out ball, but I had a few tears shed
I
there.
cried.
I didn't even
We were
get
both
close.
crying.
I didn't even get close. I think I missed, because I was so thrown off by the dream,
It pulled.
it pulled me out completely.
Okay.
I was feeling the same way, Jose, but they did get me back with the last scene because I was like, "Oh man, I kind of wanted to cry tonight."
I think I was waiting for her to sort of have this moment where she, again, found her voice and was like, fuck you, building, and fuck you, landlord, and fuck you, editor who is a dick and reads stupid poetry, and fuck you, Tuesday Adams, for being a cunt. This like powerful woman moment with the dog right by her side, and then I think I would have shed a tear.
So, Taco, would you like to tell folks where they could find
Yeah,
the drive
I
home?
hope we keep all that
Normal pace.
Yes, I will tell you where you can find the drive home. You can find us on Instagram. You can find us on YouTube. You can find us on Spotify. You can find us on Apple Podcasts. You can sometimes find us on Facebook. And you can find us on our website, www.thedrivehome312.com.
Well, thank you, Taco. Well,
We're home!
Taco? Would you like to,
It's offensive.
would you like to sing us out?
Apollo?
Let's power.
The dark days are over. The dark days are over.
Like and subscribe.